Good morning, my dear students. See, in the previous class, you have come across the concept that you have learnt in the high school level and the topics what you may come across in your first PUC economics, isn't it? So, what did you understand in the earlier class? See, there you have understood that what is meant by economics, isn't it? Then, what is the importance of economics? Why we have to study economics? What is its importance and all? See, in that you came to know that economics is a social science that is concerned with production, distribution and consumption of goods and services, isn't it? Economics is concerned with the what? Production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. Then after that you have understood that it also studies how individuals, then business, governments and nations make choices about how to allocate resources, isn't it? See, why we have to allocate the resources in a proper manner means because there is a scarcity of resources in the society or in the economy. All of you know that there is a limited resource, but the wants are unlimited. So, as a result, what happens? The scarcity problem arises, isn't it? So, that's why we have to allocate the resources in a proper manner so that everyone get that resource in a better way and everybody can make a use of it, isn't it? Then after that you have understood about why we have to study the economics, what is its importance, isn't it? There you have understood this concept in three aspects, isn't it? That is, first one was intellectual value. What do you mean by this intellectual value means? See, it means a person who engages in critical thinking and in research work and is a reflection about the reality of the society, and he always try to give a solution for the problem that is existing in the society, isn't it? And in this, every individual will be understanding that we are interdependent on each other, isn't it? For everything we are interdependent on each other. So, the thought of dependency develops the cooperation among the individuals. That is about what? Intellectual value. Okay. Then after that you have understood about the practical purpose. What is the practical purpose of studying this economics? See, there you came across the concept like this economics helps a consumer to control the expenditure in the view of his income, isn't it? And it also helps the sellers and the traders to determine the correct price for their goods. Means we can make a proper pricing for goods, isn't it? Depending on the demand for goods in the market. As a seller, I can set a proper price for a good or a service. Then apart from that, what is the practical purpose of studying economics? So here we have understood that an individual becomes a better and more efficient consumer or a manufacturer or a trader with improved decision making ability. See, by studying economics, you can take a best decision, you can take a correct decision in various situations, isn't it? What is meant by decision making? See, among the different alternatives available, we have to select a best alternative, isn't it? This is known as what? Proper decision making. Okay. We cannot choose all the different alternatives what is available. So I have to select a best alternative among the different alternatives available. Then we say that our decision is good. Our decision what I have taken is right. Okay. Then after this we have understood about the government bodies also. Means even this economics concept is useful in this government bodies. This economics, isn't it? Even by studying economics we can apply that in this aspect also, that is in government bodies. Then how does it helps us? See, it is essential for any government to earn revenue, isn't it? It might be for building, or it might be for a manufacturing unit, or for developing of economy of any nation. If you take, see, earning of revenue or earning revenue is very important for a firm if you take, or for an nation, or for any country if you take. So here by applying this economics concept we can develop our economy. Okay. Then even this economics helps the government to frame a proper monetary and fiscal policies. Okay. So this is useful both in making a proper, means a correct monetary and fiscal policy. Then this economics is also very supportive factor for the government to understand the very complex problems, complicated problems like unemployment, poverty, okay, etc. So even we can reduce this poverty problem, unemployment problem, or a situation where there is a concept of inflation and all, we can minimize this by using the concept of economics, isn't it? Then after this you have studied about what do you mean by resource, isn't it? What is meant by resource? See, resource is a broad term which indicates that all the materials that human beings use in conducting their economic activities. What are the economic activities? See, economic activities include what? Production, exchange and consumption. So in order to conduct these economic activities we require the resources in a better manner, in a proper manner. So the allocation of resources are very important. Then after that you have understood about the natural resource. What is meant by natural resource? See, the resource that is available in nature, isn't it? That is known as what? Natural resource. So what are the examples you can take? You can take trees, forest, water, soil, plants. All these are what? Natural resources. The substances which are available in nature, or the resources that is available in nature can be called as what? Natural resource. Then we have come across the classification of natural resources, that is renewable resource and non-renewable resource. Then even we had a other classification of natural resource, that is what? Biotic and abiotic factors, isn't it? What do you mean by biotic factors? See, biotic factors means these are the resource, or these are the factors which are living in nature. Okay, that is known as what? Biotic factors. Bio refers to what? Living. Okay. Next, another one is what? Non-living things. That is nothing but what? Abiotic factors. Abiotic factors means what? Non-living things are called as what? Abiotic factors. Okay. So these are the topics what we have understood in the previous class. So today we shall know about the syllabus of first PUC economics in brief. Okay. See, economics subject you will be studying into two parts in this first PUC. Okay. The first part will be statistics for economics, and the second part will be Indian economic development. Okay. So first PUC economics syllabus ನಿಮಗೆ 2 parts ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದ್ಯಾವುದಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, so you will be having two parts. First part will be statistics for economics, and the second part will be Indian economic development. Indian economic development. Okay, you can write this. That is, first PUC economics you will be studying into two parts. First one is statistics for economics and the another one is Indian economic development. So now we shall know about the concepts or the topics what you will be studying in this first part, that is statistics for economics. Okay, so first part statistics for economics ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ನ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ನ ಕಲಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಇವಾಗ. ಓಕೆ, see here, if you observe this first part, that is statistics for economics, you might be observing that there are two subjects what you have already learnt in your earlier classes, that is in high school level, isn't it? That is, one is statistics and another one is economics, isn't it? Both the concept you have already studied in a high school level. Okay, so in the earlier class I have said you about what are the topics that you have already learnt in your economics of high school level. So now if you remember, in statistics part you might have studied about what is economics, isn't it? Then how to calculate arithmetic mean, then how to calculate median, isn't it? And after that you might have come across the concepts like how to draw the pie chart, then bar diagram and all. That is, the diagrammatical representation also you might have studied in that. Then after that you might have studied about how to calculate the standard deviation and all. So again in the first PUC also you will be learning all these concepts. So let us know about that one by one. Okay, see, this statistics for economics consists of 9 chapters. How many chapters? 9 chapters. 9 chapters irutte ee part first alli statistics for economics alli. Hagadre yav chapters ide anta nodta hogona. Okay, see, it has how many chapters? 9 chapters. Okay, so first let us know about chapter 1, that is introduction. Okay, introduction. See, in this introduction part you will be studying about who is a consumer, who is a producer and who is a buyer, like that. Okay, so before that, answer to my question, can you mention few of the economists? Okay, see, have you come across this person name? Alfred Marshall, isn't it? So in the previous classes in your high school level you might have come across this person name, that is Alfred Marshall. Who is Alfred Marshall? Alfred Marshall is one of the modern economists, isn't it? He is one of the founder of modern economics, we can say. One of the founder of modern economics, isn't it? One of the founder of modern economics. Alfred Marshall is one of the founder of modern economics. Then in this chapter you will be knowing the different terms like consumer, okay, then about producer, seller, service provider, then service holder, producer, seller, then service holder, okay, then service provider, like this. Okay, so tell me, what do you mean by this? See, these are the concepts what you will be using in this economics very frequently. Okay, so who is a consumer then? ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು? ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು? ಗ್ರಾಹಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಹೂ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್? ಸಿ, ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಎ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹೂ ಬೈಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ಅ ಗೂಡ್ ಆರ್ ಅ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಹಿಮ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಆರ್ ಮೈಟ್ ಬಿ ಫಾರ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್. ಈ ಮೈಟ್ ಬಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್. ಗ್ರಾಹಕ ಆದಂಥವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುನ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವ್ರಿಗಾರು ಅದನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗಾದ್ರೂ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್. ಸೊ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್. ಸಿ, ವೆನ್ ಯು ಬೈ ಅ ಗೂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್. ಓಕೆ, so you might be using that product or a good, or you may gift that for somebody, then also you will be called as what? Consumer. Okay, then who is a producer? Producer andre yaru hagadre? Producer means who manufacture a product or a good can be called as what? A producer. Producer andre yaru ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುನ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? Producer. So who is a producer? A person who manufacture a good or a product can be called as what? Producer. Then who is a seller? Seller means what? When you sell good to make profit for yourself, then you will be called as what? Seller. Seller andre yaru? So a person who sells a product or a good to make profit can be called as what? Seller. Okay, then who is known as a service holder? Service holder means when you are in a job working for some other person, you might be getting a salary, then you will be called as what? Service holder. Okay, when you are employed in a company, you will be working for a company, then you will be called as what? Service holder. ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಥವಾ ಫರ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ, ಅವಾಗ ನೀವಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರ, ಯು ಆರ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ದರ್, ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್. ಓಕೆ, ದೆನ್ ಹೂ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡರ್? ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡುವಂಥವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡರ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ದೆನ್ ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಸೇ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿಸ್? ಹೂ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡರ್? See, service provider means when you provide some kind of service to others for a payment. Okay, so ನಿಮಗೆ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಅವರು, ಆವಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ನೀವು ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಅಂದರೆ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡರ್? ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ರೆಂಡರಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್ in order to get a payment, isn't it? So then you will be called as what? Service provider. Can you give some examples? Yes, service provider might be what? Lawyer, then doctor, okay, then you can have banker, etc. These are what? These can be called as what? Service providers. Okay. So initially you will be knowing all these terms in this first chapter. Okay. Then you will be knowing the meaning of economic activity. Economic activity. Economic or we can say that economic activities. What do you mean by economic activity? I said that this economics deals with the economic activities like production, distribution and consumption, isn't it? So here in this first chapter you will be coming across a word like economic activity. What do you mean by this economic activity then? It is undertaken for a monetary gain, that is known as what? Economic activity. Economic activity includes what? Production, distribution and consumption of goods, and it is mainly done for what purpose? For monetary gain. Means I want to get a monetary benefit, then that is known as what? Economic activity. It is conducted for what? For monetary gain. For example, if you take, see, if I am a seller of a product, then what do? I will sell the product for you, and return you will be giving certain price for that product what you will be buying. Means what? I have gained the monetary benefit here. Means I got the money here. So we can say that economic activity includes what? Production, distribution and consumption of goods or services, and it is done for the monetary gain. That is known as what? Economic activity. Okay. Then you will be coming across the concept like scarcity is the root of all economic problems. Why we say the scarcity is the root of all economic problems? That is very important here. Okay. Scarcity is the root of all economic problems. Scarcity is the root of all economic problems. What do you mean by this? ಏನೇ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಕಾನಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಸೊಸೈಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ದ ಸ್ಕೇರ್ಸಿಟಿ. ಸ್ಕೇರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಭಾವ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ವೈ ದ ಸ್ಕೇರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್? ಟೆಲ್ ಮಿ, why there is a problem of scarcity in our economy? Yes, it is due to what? It is due to limited resources ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ಅಥವಾ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಕರಿತೀರೋ ಅದು ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಭಾಳಷ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ನೇಚರ್. ಸೊ along with this we have what? Wants are unlimited in nature ಅಲ್ವಾ. ವಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋಂಥ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ನೇಚರ್. ಸೊ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಬಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ದ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್. We can say that the scarcity problem arises. Then what about wants? Wants are unlimited in nature. So we can say that due to this limited resources and wants are unlimited in nature, hence the problem of scarcity arises. Okay. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಅಭಾವ ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮಗೊಂದು ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ, explain about this, that is scarcity is the root of all economic problems. Dash is the root of all economic problems. What will be answer? You will be writing there as scarcity is the root of all economic problems. Okay. Then you will be knowing about the concept like what is consumption, what is production and what is distribution in detail in this chapter. Because economic activity includes what? It tells about consumption, production and distribution of goods and services in the economy, I said. So now you will be knowing in this chapter about what? Production. Okay, what is production, what is distribution and what is consumption. Okay, consumption. Then you will be knowing about what is production. Okay, then after that you will be knowing about what is distribution. What is distribution? Okay, then what do you mean by this consumption? See, consumption means it deals with the purchase of goods and services or a product or a service or a good at a given price. Consumption means what? As a consumer, I will be purchasing any product or any good or a service with a given price, alva? ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಪೆನ್ನಿನ ಬೆಲೆ 5 ರೂಪಿ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, 5 ರೂಪಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನನಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಪೆನ್ಸ್ನ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಅಂದರೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಎಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡು ಇದೆಯೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡಿಗೆ ಸಮಾನವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಪೆನ್ನ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ 10 ರೂಪೀಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಪ್ಪ, ನನಗೆ 2 ಪೆನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಪೆನ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಇಸ್ 5 ರೂಪಿ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಎಷ್ಟು ಪೆನ್ಸ್ನ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, 2 ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ, ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋದು ಎಷ್ಟು ರುಪೀಸು, 10 ರೂಪಿ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೆನ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ₹5 ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪೆನ್ಸ್ನ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಅ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್? ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಪೆನ್ಸ್? 2 pens. So this is known as what? Consumption. So consumption means what? Purchase of a good or a product or a service with a given price of a good. That is known as what? Consumption. Okay. Then we have other term like production. What do you mean by this production? See, production means it deals with how the goods are produced and what is the cost involved in that and what is the market price. So production means what? Conversion of input into output, we can call it as production. Here it says that how much of goods are produced and what is the cost involved in producing a good and what is the market price of that product you will be studying. Okay, then after this you will be knowing about distribution. What is meant by distribution? See, distribution tells about a national income. Okay, so it also tells about what? National income in the form of wage, rent, interest and profit, like that. Okay, so after this you will be knowing the definition of economics. What is economics? Okay, we'll be knowing about the definition of economics. What is economics? How do you define this? Means economics is the study of how people and society choose to employ scarce resources that could have alternative uses in order to produce various commodities that satisfy their wants and to distribute them for consumption among various persons and groups in the society. Okay, that you will be understanding in detail in the upcoming classes. So this about definition. Then you will be knowing about statistics in economics. Okay, you will be knowing about statistics in economics. So here you will come across what is meant by statistics and how do you define the statistics in plural sense. Okay, so in plural sense we can define statistics in this way, that is, it is a numerical fact systematically collected. That is the plural sense or plural meaning of this statistics. So about that you will be studying there. Okay. Then after this you will be knowing about what statistics does. What statistics does means here you will understand about the how the statistics help to study economics. As I said that, see, in this statistics for economics you will be knowing about the application of statistics in economics. So here in this topic you can understand about how statistics helps to study economics. Okay. So this is about the first chapter. I will continue in the next class. Thank you.